Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Harakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great most in the world. And Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of Syria and truth. You can start on the mail on how this this whole this pandemic situation is really at no point is it gonna be enough, is it gonna run its course? Because it's been said from the beginning, this is a matter of control, this is a matter of carefully laid plans, and it's a gradual escalation, and that's what you've seen. It's people have become more, and more willing and accepting of of what, when you go back to March 2020, it was just like, yo, rah. And then you go to you go to what, to summer 2020, and it's like, oh, and then winter 2020, it's whole different sets of what's accepted. So yeah. The state of Israel is now the world's sea hotspot. Cases soar despite the country's trailblazing max rollout, sparking fears other highly maxed countries will be hit by another wave due to waning immunity. Yeah, so the dream that was promised. Who's surprised? I remember. Was it? I think it was like spring, maybe. Spring, or maybe it was earlier. I don't fucking remember now. Shit is blended into a blob. I think it was spring this year. Maybe it was even earlier than that, but I think it was spring this year. They were touting the state of Israel as the model for everyone to follow. Like, everyone got their shots, and then they'll out, they'll have it at parties, they'll going to the movies, going to the theater, live music events, all that. And now it's what, fourth wave? It says Israel has become the sea capital of the world despite leading the charge on Max, in a clear warning sign that Britain, the US, and other highly immunized nations are still vulnerable to another wave. Stats compiled by the Oxford University-backed research team Our World in Data shows there were a record 1,892 sea cases per million in state of Israel on Wednesday, nearly 0.2% of the entire population. Yeah, significantly higher than blah blah blah. The figure only looks at one day's worth of tests, and Israel's high rate is thought to have been driven up by a huge testing push ahead of schools reopening now. But the country has consistently reported some of the highest infection rates in the world since mid-August, amid an unprecedented third wave. Or third, I guess? I don't even remember what the fuck these waves are. Despite being one of the most vaccinated nations in the world. For comparison, 522 people per million in the UK tested positive yesterday. And the figure was close to 595 in the US. It suggests protection gained is starting to buckle in the face of the highly transmissible Delta. Yeah. So it's same thing that happened with they were saying that with what you call it, the England variant, the UK variant, whichever, I can't remember what it's called, and saying like, yo, you need to do your thing and get what you need. Which obviously people jumped on, but lo and behold, Yeah, it needs to be done again. Uh, okay, well, Israel is seeing record case numbers in its fourth wave. Okay, so it's a fourth. That's what I thought. Jabs are still protecting against severe illness, with deaths running about half at the level of its second, even though fatalities have risen sharply in the last month. State of Israel has been offering booster jabs to people over the age of 60 since July, and data suggests the scheme has helped to curb rising. Man, so these men have been going ham. That's 2 months. Yeah, which, it's all about that booster shot. It's funny as hell, bro. You see these graphs, and it's like the average person doesn't even know what they're looking at, because it's like, is this good? Is this bad? Like, what's going on? It's like, oh, look how high it went before. It's as high as before. It's funny as hell. Of course, it seemed like everything was fine. No, but now it's like, oh, maybe not so, maybe not so, and that, let me read this. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Yeah, Esau's got a short time out here. He's basically pulled out all the stops. Because why? He's looking to get his shit locked in. That's why it's really not ended. It's really not ended. Like, and it's been like no, it's done been that from the jump. Because when it first started, they were just like, oh, lockdown for like 2 weeks to a month. It's gonna be calm. That shit went on like year and change. And then now it's like, oh, we hit X level of people getting their shots. And then and then everything's good. It apparently ain't. And now it's like, what, It's what do you call it? Now it's like, everything seemed like it was fine, but fourth wave, there's all the waves just seem to continue, and it's they're saying boosters, but then it's like when it comes to, it's the same thing with the max passports, where it's like, oh, that's essentially what no, is it the threat? No, it's the, you know, if you don't comply, then it's like, okay, well, you're gonna be cut off from everything. That's really how they're getting down. What was it, Daniel? Because yeah, Daniel 8:25. This is what, and through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Yeah, by his policy, he'll cause craft to prosper, and that's what you're seeing, because the craft has been executed over. I remember there was that film in the 90s, The Craft, about 3 or 4 witches. I can't remember, man. Just in the modern day, just going around, casting spells. That same craft has been done over the people's minds. People's minds have truly been bamboozled, man. Now they're just like, I don't know, man, like dough, like putty. They're just malleable, and that's obviously the state that that's desired by the elites. That's why they've followed through in this path to where they just put people's minds to the end of their tethers, and now it's like, okay, look, this is what you gotta deal with. But yeah, it's Esau's riding his horse into the stables, man. He's not, at no point is he averting from his course, and that's become evident and clear, man. As long as you're kind of paying attention to what's going on, watching as well as praying, then you can see there's always something. If there's not here immediately, they're hinting at, oh, we might have to do this soon. Always. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.